So what are 3 things that I would never do as a beginner when buying real estate? So I would make sure I actually know my goals and my timeline, make sure I have financing in place, and I would definitely make sure that I know what I'm looking for, or at least able to take an inspection on that property. Now, if you like this type of content, let me know by hitting that like, comment, and subscribe button. It does help with the algorithm. So now let's get right into the video. So the first thing I would never do when investing in real estate as a beginner is not knowing my goals and my timeline. You really need to know what are you trying to do for that property and why, and also what is your timeline here, right? So you really need to sit down and focus on that vision first, because I see way too many new investors getting caught up in other people's timelines and other people's goals. You see everyone wanting to get a duplex or a triplex first, and they just saw a video saying, hey, you can like live in one room and then rent out the others, without necessarily knowing why that is something that would benefit them. Another one is that real estate is a long-term game. So if your timeline is, let's say, 30 years, awesome. Doing a BRRRR or a buy and hold might make sense for you. However, if your timeline is shorter, hey, maybe flipping might be the strategy, and you want to get that high amount of cash to buy you more time in a shorter amount of time. Now, by understanding your goal and the timeline, you're really gonna be able to filter out a bunch of deals that won't make sense for you. At the end of the day, you wanna make sure that you're investing for your goals and your timeline, and not get caught up in other people's goals and other people's timelines, even if it looks like they're winning. That's where people get caught making big mistakes, once they start having that FOMO, that fear of missing out, once they see other investors doing well, without really understanding that they have different goals, they have different timelines compared to you. So that first thing I would never do as a beginner real estate investor is basically go into deals without understanding what's my end goal and what's my timeline here. Or the second thing I would avoid as a new real estate investor, and something I would never do, is go into a deal without a financing condition. The reason for that is, if you're new, you might not be that great at raising capital yet. So if things get sticky and your financing fails, if you have a financing condition, you can get out of the deal without much consequences. However, if you don't put a financing condition and you get stuck with, let's say, less ideal financing, or you don't have a down payment ready because your money partner backed away, or whatever the reason is that you messed up financing, well, that can get you into some serious trouble, and it can actually cost you your deposit. So put that financing condition into your deals, and I would never, as a new real estate investor, go into deals and write offers without a financing condition up until I'm confident enough that I can find financing. Now, once you get really good at that, once you become an action taker and you know you can close deals even if you don't have pre-approvals and financing ready, awesome. That means you're actually a lot more skilled than your new investor. But as a new real estate investor, I would take the right steps and put in the right conditions at first, just because that first few deals, well, those are pretty stressful, and there is a higher barrier of entry, and there is that learning curve. So I would not go into deals without a financing condition up until you're very confident that you can pull that off. Now, the third and final mistake I would avoid, and something that I would never do as a beginner real estate investor, would be to go into deals without an inspection condition. The reason for that is, again, once you're new, you don't really know that much about real estate. You might have read all the books, but there's always that margin of error, and that's what you want to mitigate. That's what you want to be able to reduce, so that you can actually get into deals and make it as stress-free as possible is the key term here, and essentially make sure you go into these deals by adding an inspection condition, preferably a satisfactory inspection condition. That's going to allow you to go into the property with maybe a professional inspector, maybe your contractor, and be able to look at the property and find anything that could cost you money down the road, or could actually ruin the deal for you. Again, as a beginner, you want to look at each of these first few deals as an educational process. You might not get the best deals in the beginning, that's okay, but you want to get deals that allow you to stay in the real estate game. The last thing you want to do is in the first few deals, either ruin the taste of real estate because you made a mistake, you ignored an inspection, you didn't put an inspection in, or at least now you have essentially less faith in real estate. Whereas if you put a proper condition in, you put satisfactory inspection, you can find out what's wrong with the house, and worst case scenario, something pops up, you're able to catch it in the inspection, and now you get to learn from that process and possibly even back away from the deal if it ruins the deal for you. You want to avoid ruin when investing, and that's why in the beginning, you want to be a little bit more aware of what risks you're taking and make sure you put that inspection condition, and I said satisfactory inspection is going to be key. Awesome. So now if you're an aspiring or a beginner real estate investor and you really want someone to help guide you through the step-by-step process, not only to fast track your steps towards success, but also to help you avoid all the pitfalls that could happen if you're new to investing in real estate, I'd love for you to hit the Calendly link below so that we can sit down on a quick Zoom call and I can find out what you need help with and build you your free personalized real estate investing roadmap. With that, I'd love to be a resource to you, possibly even be your mentor if you qualify to be one of my mentees. So again, hit that Calendly link below if you want a little bit of help, and I'd love to help you reach those goals. Awesome. So couple things that you need to remember from this video is that as a new real estate investor, you want to make sure that you never go into deals without understanding what are your goals, what is your timeline. Next, you never want to go into your first few deals without that financing condition, just because that might mess up your deal and you might not be skilled enough to find the money in a pinch. And finally, you want to make sure that you never go into these first few deals without a satisfactory inspection condition. Again, these are all conditions, these are all steps that are going to help you avoid ruin, especially in the first few deals. Real estate's not easy, doesn't matter what anyone says online, and you want to make sure that you avoid ruin at all costs. A bad deal can be saved. However, if the deal is bad enough and it causes you to never get into real estate again, well, that's going to ruin your long-term potential instead of, just doing a decent deal, getting there, getting in and out, and being able to learn from the process. So thanks for watching this video. If you got a ton of value from this YouTube video, make sure to let me know, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Again, it helps with the algorithm a lot, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace.